On that note, boys, talking about lists, talking about what goes into those lists, I think it's probably a good time, as I'm about to put some brisket in my mouth, to reveal the Tuesday Night Cigar Club.
That's a cute little plate you got there.
I'm strictly brisket.
Hey, that's keto approved.
Cody, go pack the gear.
This is where the doc is sorely missed.
Yes, he is.
Oh, we could talk Cowboys. Oh, he got a little bit of sore throat.
I can't talk about the Cowboys without getting emotional this year.
That.
They're back. They Texas.
Well,
Easy.
Here is
Too soon.
We still them boys.
Tut.
Yeah.
Anybody on Facebook Live want to guess our top 3 cigars of the year?
I don't know.
No, that was my kind of cue to ask. I'm putting it out there. If you can guess our top 3 cigars of the year, you will win.
What?
But we're giving out a gift for your top 3.
A Tuesday Night Cigar Club coaster.
That's weak. What do you want to give him, Skip?
How about
How about a RoMa
Ash Box by Derek Cigar Rest?
A cigar rest. There you go. You're outside smoking. You're in your car smoking. You're anywhere smoking.
With
you
a
set
patch,
that-
with some patches
with
and
some
stickers.
patches. There we go. All right, start putting in your. I'm going to go slow through this list so you have some time, but you got to work fast.
What happens if nobody gets it? Then nobody wins.
If you
Nobody
guess
wins.
any of the 3, you'll get something
Okay.
from that. That's why I picked something small.
Okay. My God, that's good barbecue. Styles and switch.
Pussy, pizza. There's no such thing as bad. There's just the good and the better. I had another P.
Yeah, I was waiting for the other P. Pussy,
OPP?
pizza.
Pussy
Pokemon?
pizza and
Pokemon? No, it doesn't work.
Pilsner.
No, there's no good Pilsners. Okay. Here is the Tuesday Night Cigar Club's top 10 cigars that we smoked on the show. Again, if you went through the website and you picked out what we rated, it's not going to be the same because we actually revisit cigars throughout the year, and this is what we came up with as far as what we went back to, what we smoked more of. This is where we are at. Again, not the best cigars out there, the best cigars we smoked on the show. Number 10, I feel like David Letterman. The Buckeyeland from Crowned Heads. It was a Drew Estate collaboration with Willie Herrera, but we love that cigar. Really good.
Never
Really good.
smoked that one.
Really good cigar. And I should mention, it did not get on the show this year. The La Colusion, their new collaboration with Drew Estate, is very good as well. But that was our
I'm a
number.
big fan of Miguel, John Huber, Willie.
We met John Huber at the Kentucky Barn Smoker this year, and man, what a class act! That guy's awesome. He's really, really good.
Good guy.
Good people. At number 9, talk about innovation. You talk about unique characters. It is the Nuggs from Jas Sum Kral,
Which Nug?
the Habano.
No, have you had the 100 milligram?
No, it was the mild. It was the more mild one. It was which we did not notice any kind of stress relief or muscle relaxation. We didn't. It's just a good cigar.
Here's what I can tell you. What I know from experience, because I spent some time with Risty in Colorado. If you smoke a Nug while getting a blowjob, you definitely feel the effects.
Cody, are you taking notes?
I am now.
It's a pleasurable experience, no matter how you look at it.
Well, it's a good cigar, no matter how much you look at it. CBD aside, it was just a really enjoyable smoke, and we really liked it. Number 8, we already mentioned it, the Wasabi from Espinosa. Track them down. Track them down if you can. It's the best Candela we've had in the 5 years we've been doing Candelas on the show, and really, really enjoyable. And number 7, we have a tie. But they kind of tie together.
Ties are such a cop-out.
Well, they tie together, Skip. It was the Partagas Legend by General Cigar Company and the Partagas Serie D No. 4 Cuban cigar.
This is Matt trying to get General Cigar ad money.
That ship has sailed, my friend. No hashtag ad on this. We get paid nothing. It was the Partagas Legend was an honest to God. We really, really enjoyed that cigar. And the Partagas, the Cuban, the Serie D number 4, it's a classic. And it was one of the few Cubans we've had that actually was good, was solid. We really.
You must have had a good batch.
Yeah, we did. It was. We really liked that cigar. But yeah, go check out the Partagas Legend. It kind of caught us by surprise how much we liked that one. Number 6. Tut, can you guess it?
No.
Okay. The Norteno
Hey, Sean,
Ooh.
by Drew Estate.
I like me that.
can I get some more
Norteno.
sausage and brisket and coleslaw?
We smoked, obviously, Drew Estate's a sponsor. We've smoked so many Drew Estate cigars this year, new blends, but I purposely featured the Norteno on the show when we spoke to Willie because it is my favorite, or the Drew Estate cigar I smoke the most of.
I like the little one, the little Norteno
Yeah, the little
line.
Petit Corona.
Yeah.
The Norteno is, I think, one of the most kind of unmentioned awesome cigars out there that both Tut and I mean, Tut, we kind of smoke more of those than, by far any more Drew Estate cigar, but the Norteno is just, the limited edition Churchill's really good, that the Petit Corona is really awesome. We're just really big fans. So that is our number 6. And then we have our top 5.
Hang on a second. Is that your highest rated Drew Estate cigar?
It is.
Oh, I don't know, man. That's the
Don't get us in trouble, man.
TAA that Willie did, the Maduro. That was pretty
Oh, of
good.
the Herrera Steli blend?
Yeah.
That was really good.
That was really good.
I haven't smoked that one.
You mentioned earlier, Mike, if
my plate.
we're friends
Wait,
with...
is that his plate or my plate?
It's my plate.
Oh man, why?
I had them cut
Rosales
it up.
always eats first.
I had them. They handed you the plate first. I just had them slice it up because I didn't want to
Thanks,
put the
Tom.
whole brisket in my mouth and just like yang 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 yang.
You mentioned earlier, Mike, if you're friends or friendly
Sure.
with the manufacturer, or if someone pissed you off and was
Very
mean
good
to
with the
you,
beer.
how does that
Yes.
affect you getting him on the show? With Drew Estate...
Wait, did you just say my show?
No, our show.
Yeah. This is Tuttle's show.
Tuttle
I turn the mic off. This whole thing goes dark.
Tuttle's Tuesday night,
Anyways, you were saying?
Gonna need a lot more of this stuff.
You're all right.
featuring Matt Cade.
Now I'm like the guys,
Featuring
like
the doctor.
not like Saturday Night Live, like starring. I'm the 3 dudes at the end, featuring Matt Cade.
Well, you're the guy who talks the most, but it's a Tuttle production.
Waka waka waka. No, you got to be with Drew Estate being our show's primary
Special guest
sponsor.
star, the doc.
You got to be careful. And while we give them a lot of obviously exposure on our, when we're out on the road with them, we do this, and when we like a cigar, we give them this.
You've sold out. It's okay. I mean, we
This
completely understand.
no
You
sellout.
gotta pay for this equipment. It's expensive.
This year it is fucking expensive.
Yeah.
But this year I wanted to get them on the show because I really just love the Norteno blend, and we wanted to talk to Willie, and could have done a lot of new stuff, but
I mean, that's an example where they have so many resources now to do so many interesting things, but their hands are tied by the big corporate kind of people on the FDA stuff. I went up to Drew Estate the last time I was there, I think maybe 6 months ago, and Willie was working on something which I thought was really good, and it was like, but I can't make this because it doesn't fit the FDA kind of things. So, not to say that, I smoked one of the Acid 20
yeah,
this year. I'm not a flavored cigar smoker.
sure,
Once I got over the kind of initial,
it's enjoyable.
it got not bad. It was really good cigar.
No, and we're very open about that. I'm not a flavored cigar guy either, but
I caught so much shit for smoking that.
I saw a lot of
Yeah.
The 20 that you posted?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you just getting nailed
Yeah.
on it.
I'm like, hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's enjoyable, and especially I actually
Did you ever smoke any of the old El Titan de Bronze,
not the
the
old blends.
Redemption Maduros?
Not the old ones.
Oh man, I remember Willie was in like his little 10x10 booth next to the sisters. I don't remember their name, but this was maybe This had to be 12, 13 years ago. And I smoked, that was like one of the best cigars I smoked that year.
07, 08.
And knowing like what they have to do in that little place and all that stuff, it was even more the better.
Yeah, and the fact they're still making them there. They're still making the Esteli line there is
They still make the Redemption Maduro?
I don't know.
If they do, it's amazing to me that nobody talks about it because that's a great cigar.
But yeah, one of the privileges of traveling to a state is being around Willie and kind of listening to him because he's very frank with his, people think of Master Blender as this sexy, I'm just creating these new, Willy Wonka. I'm creating these new masterpieces every day and it's all, but it's like, no, it's a grind. 80% of my job is consistency. I'm smoking.
Blend maintenance, yeah.
Is maintaining the existing
I would
blends.
say 90%.
Yeah, I mean, and he's like, that's not sexy, but that's what I do.
Yeah, and a big factor that's even harder.
Because what happens, Willie's got a palette, and there's going to be some stuff that he's making for portfolios that's outside of that palette.
Right.
Imagine having to always try to maintain consistency on stuff that's out of your palette. I think that's impressive.
Well, here's the thing. Let's say we open a pack of tobacco randomly that has a problem. We can always catch that before it ever hits a cigar. At Drew Estate, they're opening hundreds a day.
Sure.
If you catch it at 10 in the morning, you've already made 20,000 cigars with that shitty tobacco.
Yeah. And when you hear the stories about how much they have to toss when something's not right,
yeah, it's
staggering.
The speed. I think they make 150,000 cigars a day now.
Yeah.
I mean, we make 4,000, 5,000 cigars a day.
Yeah.
It's a whole different animal.
It really is, and to hear Willie's take on it, he's very good at removing the aura of the world's most interesting man, making these. He's very humble about it. He's like, no, it's a grind. I mean, it's been really cool to kind of experience
What if
that.
his redemption cigar is his Willie Herrera cigar? Ooh.
It would be. I think it would be hard. I mean, I don't know. They could absolutely do it. I don't know why he would give it to Drew Estate, but yeah, I don't know. I mean,
okay. Are you guys ready for the top 5? Has anybody guessed our top 3 yet, Tut?
Not the total top 3, but there's been a couple of guesses of one in there.
Okay. Number 5, the Kudzu Lustrum by Southern Draw. Tut has been a Kudzu diehard from the time 5 years ago, I think he smoked.
Yep.
They,
Big fan of their
they just came
Perfecto.
out of the gate, and that was you were like latched onto that Kudzu like nobody's business. Cody, you liked it. I was a little slow to the Kudzu blend, but for me, the Lustrum really brought out some stuff I didn't get from the original, and for Tut, I think it just amplified what you liked about the Lustrum.
I'm a big fan of their Perfectos. For some reason, they can get into it and make a really good Perfecto, and I thought the Lustrum was an extension of that good brand.
We all really liked it.
that's made by AJ.
Yes.
Yeah, all his stuff.
Robert's a local Austin guy.
He
Yes,
is.
he is.
A little local love. No RoMa Craft cigars on here so far. But
It's okay. We
Cody
don't
Packett.
pay for
we'll
love.
see how that top 20 list of bloggers goes.
I mean, the 65 people that don't actually read your top 10 list.
I got numbers, Skip. I'll show you off,
Okay.
off mic. Number 4, the La Careme by Crowned Heads.
The little Bellicoso. That's a good. The
It
box
was-
press.
It was the Bellicoso.
I think I just smoked one of those yesterday.
It has been around for a couple years, but
Love it.
we paired it expertly with Hamburger, the motion picture,
Oh, yes.
1984.
So the first stout we drank is a lot like that cigar. It's supposed to be dark and heavy, but it's a little bit lighter than you
Yep.
would think it is.
I like it.
Yeah. good
To me,
cigar.
the La Careme is a great dessert cigar. Which obviously it was intended, but it looked so much scarier than it actually was.
Have you ever smoked a La Careme followed by a Brulee?
I have not. Ate a Brulee or smoked a Brulee?
The Sobremesa Brulee.
No. But maybe, folks, this will give you a clue into our top 3. We've yet to mention the Sobremesa Brulee. All right, our top 3. You guys ready? Tut, you want to give him a few more minutes?
No, it's closed. It's closed.
It's closed.
You sit on your ass. It's too late.
All right. Number 3. We just talked about them, and they once again snuck in there because, honestly, I would say besides, there's about 3 cigars over the last 5 years that have made an impression on us where we keep revisiting. This is honestly one of the cigars that I purchase the most. We talk about reviewers going back and buying the most. This is, for me personally, and I believe for Yak Boy, maybe one that we buy the most of as far as the core line. Number 3 is the Rose of Sharon Desert Rose by Southern Draw. I'm a huge Rose of Sharon fan. It's been my favorite Connecticut for a while now. And we all thought the Desert Rose added just kind of a little more strength to a profile that didn't feature much strength at all, but it kept some of that kind of vanilla and the woodsiness. We kind of blew us away. We really liked the Desert Rose. And the only Connecticut this year we liked more, number 2, the Sobremesa Brulee, which we paid for. I believe from cigarhustler.com.
The EC Goodness, by the way, came out this year.
We didn't get a press release on that one.
Better than both of those. We don't do press releases.
How would we know about it?
I don't know. Do your fucking job.
Oh, yeah.
Don't be spoon fed.
At number 2.5, the EC Goodness.
See now?
Gotcha.
Boom.
Boom.
See, and I had no idea that was coming.
Don't you feel like an asshole?
I had no idea it was coming. I do feel like an asshole.
That's not on our list.
Oh, okay. So now you feel like an asshole.
Actually, one of the Intemperances made our top 3, I think, 2 years ago. I'd have to go back or find someone to go.
Oh.
That's a good trivia question. Make the listeners go back and find that
Coincidentally, you didn't make my top 10 list either.
one. Well,
Last year.
What was that? The Rose of Sharon?
The Rose of Sharon Desert Rose was number 3. Their new take on their we just really like the Rose of Sharon, the original blend. And then number 2 was Steve Saka's Sobremesa Brulee.
Is it because you like Sharon? Is that what it is?
She is awesome,
She's a sweet lady.
but we do most of our hanging out with Robert.
Okay.
He's got better hair.
You guys say sweet. You guys say sweet and tip. We say maybe sweet and binder, but whatever it is, the Brulee was awesome.
Because you don't know anything about making cigars. But that's all right.
I know if you think.
You know about smoking cigars.
How was
Watch-
that barbecue,
watching
though?
movies.
That barbecue was fantastic.
It was cold. It was a little
Well,
little
we talk a
greasy.
lot. We talk
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
So
It was
It
a
was
little
all
greasy.
right. Okay.
By the way, the 12 days of meats right now are going on at Style Switch.
yeah.
Today,
Yeah, I saw your post on that.
that is like one of the most brilliant things ever. If you did all 12 days of the top 12 days of Christmas meat or whatever,
Do I have to know about the process of smoking meat to appreciate?
No, you just either like
No,
it or you don't. But here's the thing,
That
though.
I can just eat and say I like. Cigars I can't just smoke and say I like.
They didn't. We didn't tonight. They didn't. They were out of the ribs, so we went with the prime rib. Is that right?
yeah, I didn't like it too much. I don't like the prime rib. But
Oh.
tomorrow, they have the biscuit from the biscuit company with the chopped beef. And tomorrow is the day to do it. If you're going to go to Style Switch.
Tyler leaves tomorrow early. He won't get a chance to try that.
Yeah, we're going to do Tex-Mex tacos. For,
I should mention
Tyler.
we do have a live studio audience here tonight. Tyler, where are you from? Milwaukee. Home of one of my favorite filmmakers, Mark Borchardt. You ever see American Movie? No. Check it out. You'll love it. It shows Milwaukee in a very unique picture.
Well, we were going to watch some Linkletter. So yesterday we went to the Texas Chili Parlor,
Okay.
which you know they filmed Grindhouse.
Yes, they did. Death
There,
Proof.
part of Grindhouse. And then today we did barbecue, and then we're gonna watch Slacker, and we're gonna watch Dazed and Confused. Because over by our house they have one of the old moon towers.
Oh, okay.
Which
Oh, yeah.
Sean
Party.
lives right behind me in our second house behind
Uh-huh.
me, and Sean is really, because I'm not here as much as Sean. Sean's really grasped onto the inner city gentrified characteristics of our neighborhood.
Uh-huh.
He'll walk out of his apartment, grab a little scooter, drive down to 6th Street or whatever,
Yeah.
go see a live hip hop concert. He's turned into a real urban Austin guy. So I want to give him a little of the background of the history of Austin in film, and Linkletter's got to be
back when Austin was awesome.
yeah. So Linkletter's got to be. So I drive around going, hey, this used to be that was never there.
Yeah, that's why I quit coming to Austin, because everything was this used to be, this used to be, this used to
Right.
be, and now it's this. I used to drive in from I went to college Sam Houston in Huntsville. I used to drive 3+ hours on the weekends to come to Austin to buy Laserdisc at Tower Records
Yeah.
down on MLK.
I used to get drunk at Lake Livingston with a bunch of students from Sam Houston.
That's what we were. That's what we were known for. All the way, baby.
Hey, let me tell you, and those girls were liberal
Nobody
with the
drinks
pussy.
like Sam Houston.
At Sam
girls
Houston.
drink. All right.
That between Texas, Southwest Texas State and Sam
Well, it
Houston.
was Southwest back then.
They threw around pussy like
We were the
You get a
party.
pussy?
popsicles.
You get a pussy, everybody gets a pussy. Is that how it works?
Pretty much.
Wow.
Tut, are we giving away? No. Okay. Our number one cigar of
Can't
the
give
year.
away that.
Thank you, Mike.
All right.
It is, and considering how Skip treats me, I'm very hesitant and reluctant to say this. It is the Year of the Neanderthal, baby.
All right, now we're talking.
Booyah.
It's a 3-way tie.
Nice.
We give it to you, but did we take it away? Is
Nope.
that how that goes? No.
No,
Okay.
it's three-way
Oh,
three-way
okay.
tie
All right.
all
The
you
Neanderthal
way.
OM.
We did a double feature with the OM Lancero and the Genetic Deformity. We paired it with the movie The Package about the guy who gets his dick cut off.
Nice.
That's a genetic deformity.
Perfect.
Everyone.
Perfect.
But we loved detecting the differences between the OM Lancero and the genetic deformity. And then the third component came to light within the last few weeks,
LH.
the LH. It completed the Neanderthal saga for us. It was too hard to ignore that the range that this blend was shown on our show this year. Now, granted, I broke the rules a little bit. We didn't get to feature the LH on an episode, but
So what number was this? Number 1, 1, and 1? 3 Neanderthals?
Wow.
3 Neanderthals.
So this is a probably good opportune time to say that the Tuesday Night Cigar Club
go on.
has made my list officially.
Man, those guys,
Number
they
two.
know what they're doing
In the
over
top
there.
3.
Those guys got it going on. You should check that shit out.
Listen, we have been friends with Mike and Skip for years now. We've got a lot. Your cigars have made a lot of our lists, but the weight of, like I said, the difference. Kind of sitting down and just smoking the OM and the GD back to back, and getting the spectrum from the. They all maintain that Neanderthal core.
So I'll tell you the
Flavor
secret to that.
experience.
So number 1, we need our next beer, and we're going to light the Neanderthal on this great news. I actually
Celebrating, baby.
we had no idea this was coming.
We did not.
No, you did not.
Yeah.
No, you did not.
Popping
But
bottles up in this.
We're
mouth.
gonna do the Boston Stout from Trillium. So here's the thing: all 3 of the cigars. Well, the LH is different, but the OM. Every cigar we make in Neanderthal is the exact same proportions of filler. So the OM and the HN have the exact same proportions.
If you
of filler.
watch that episode, we mentioned that, and that's what kind of blew us away, is that from that Lancero format into the genetic deformity, because it was one of the few barber poles we featured where you could feel the intent of the barber pole.
I have
You
lobbied Skip to make the genetic deformity in the HN size. Dude, holy shit. That would be like next level.
Would that be the?
Oh man.
Can we already stamp that as the TNCC?
I don't know. Could we
Get the TNT.
could we launch that? Dude, that would go bananas.
Bucket.
But-
Only if you call
Bucket.
it the Viso Horny.
But
The V so horny.
That's
wait.
We've already
Where
trademarked
did you
it.
wait?
trademarked
Where did you
it.
get this? This is our thing.
No.
That we stole from Tyler.
3 years ago,
we've actually got a shirt.
3 years ago, we did an episode where we trademarked "V So Horny." Go back and watch
The audience is
It was our
booing
James
the
Brown.
audience.
It was our James Brown episode, and he shot.
So
he asked
Tyler
him to do it, and he shot
Tyler
us down.
convinced me yesterday that he invented that.
3 years ago, or 4 years ago, when we interviewed James Brown,
Tyler.
because somebody was selling a box of leaves that you could roll your own cigars with around that
Some
time,
crab shit right there.
and
Crab as fuck.
I forget what the context was, but we asked James if he would roll a cigar for us called "V So Horny."
What movie
Tut-
would that pair with, by the way?
The "V So Horny"?
Yeah,
It had to be Full Metal Jacket.
of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Of course. So hey, you would be the only guy who would know that. If someone would say Two Live Crew,
But well, that's
yeah,
where a lot of guys our generation.
exactly.
But
We could follow that up with face down, ass up. That would be great, right? 'Cause that was the next Two Live Crew.
Face down, ass up.
that's the way we like to
That's
puff.
the way we like to tut.
That's the way we like to puff. Oh no! Now you got dancing. God damn it.
Okay, so we're doing our next beer,
Okay.
and we're doing.
I don't think we spent enough time on you guys being elated. I got Mike's excited.
I'm super happy
Okay.
about the three-way
Yay!
tie for number one.
It's amazing.
So I'm gonna tell you,
Did you try the Hawks
Cade
Dingo?
is so focused on being on my top 10 list of top 10 lists.
Had nothing to do with it.
But you're friendly with him. You were nice to him. We just fed him,
That's true.
so we just got the number one.
It was good.
I mean,
That proves my point.
That was
That proves
set
my
in
point.
stone before we
so
walked in the door.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna say it like this.
Thank you, Sean.
I worked on the Neanderthal for almost 4 years by myself.
Yeah, that's a skip thing.
So from the day I got to the factory, it was I want to make the cigar I originally wanted to make when we made the Cro-Magnon. So when we made the Cro-Magnon, it was supposed to be the Neanderthal. The name was going to be Neanderthal, and I told Mike, this cigar is not strong enough to bear the Neanderthal name. It doesn't have enough of what I think it should have. So we gave it the Cro-Magnon, the more cultured kind of, caveman.
Finer. A little finesse.
Kind of like the caveman lawyer from Saturday Night Live.
I'm just a confused caveman. Look.
Right. But, so, when we had the source for San Andreas, and then, that cigar has 8 tobaccos in it. And every piece has a part. And it's all wrapped around this whole Green River Sucker 1. So, when we did the LH, we were getting more whole Green River Sucker ones.
You could put a whole leaf in there.
No. So the Green River Sucker 1 comes long, but some of it's really broken, and it's not like a whole leaf. And so when you put it in, you have to devein the entire filler leaf, which is abnormal. So you really only put it in as a break. It's not part of the bunch. So so when you make the bunch and you do the tear, the Green River Sucker 1 becomes what you fill the bunch with. It actually is not part of the bunch. But when we started getting more whole pieces of Green River Sucker 1, we were setting it aside. And so I said, let's make the Green River Sucker 1 part of the bunch, and then do it a little bit underfilled so we can do the box press on it. So the only one that really departs from the formula is the LH.
And that was the one, to me, I flash back to when we first sat at TJ's, because that's when you just released the original
I remember,
Neanderthal.
yeah, when we did the podcast from TJ's.
Yeah. And that mystique on that sucker leaf really kind of, and the 8 blend, that's a lot of different
Well, I remember at that
tobaccos
time, you guys didn't smoke a lot of stronger cigars.
No, we didn't.
Particularly Tut was like talking about Connecticut's and
Dominicans. He
Dominicans.
was a Dominican
and,
guy.
Yeah, and that was a really full body cigar for you guys at that time. And the LH, even though a lot of people say it's not as strong as it was, it was never intended to be. It's more full flavor, because it's not more full flavor.
It brings a tear to my eye. I've smoked several in several ways. It is so strong with the spice up front. I can't remember the last time I actually teared up from my initial.
If you retrohale, it's super.
It's super.
This is the mean
Yes.
streets
But
to
and Tut
the
nailed
Irishman.
and that's good. Very good now.
This is more mean streets.
Correct.
It's gritty. It's unrefined. There's some things in here they're like introduced into the whole scene.
Technically, this should have been the first Neanderthal, and then
It should have been.
You went weak sauce after that.
But it took me 10 years to figure out how to make this cigar.
See,
And
that's
I
what's
think-
weird is that I have a different take on it. It had a lot of power, a lot of flavor, and it's funny because when y'all go back and talk about me being a lighter smoker to what I am today, because I am just a power hound, and when everybody was talking about, oh, this is the cigar, you're gonna like it, it's gonna have a lot of strength to it, you're gonna love it. I always hear that in cigars, and I'm always let down. And then the first third was kind of lighter than what I was expecting, and then that strength and that flavor just poured on in the halfway mark. Then it's just kicked you in the face in that last third, but the palate was very light.
Are you a
And
retrohaler?
And
Not to
it's
interrupt
funny
you.
because you're
Occasionally.
talking about
Very
how
occasionally.
gritty it is on the retrohale. I thought he managed to keep that strength, but to me, it was a bright, crisp retrohale.
Well, I mean, of course, still has to be a little bit balanced. But
Yeah.
the thing is, let me tell you. So I worked on this for 4 or 5 months. We made them. Then I went on to working on other things like the goodness and the craft, which is a lot more nuanced type things. And I got it. So when you get up to go here from Esteli, back when they had the early flights, you had to get up at like 3 in the morning, and then it's like 2.5 hours to Managua, unless you're trying to, unless you're on a suicide mission wanting to hit a cow or something. And then from there you have to go to Houston, you have to wait an hour or two, and then you have to come to Austin, right? So getting from Esteli to Austin is like a whole day thing.
right.
So when I travel, I don't go to sleep. I'll stay up all night, I'll work, and then watch some movies or do whatever, and then I'll take a shower, and pack, and then we'll get on the road. So that drive from Esteli to Managua, I always smoke something small and something light, because nicotine makes you want to shit if you don't know, especially if you haven't, So if
So
you
you
eat
shit
some,
on the road
if
from
you
Esteli
eat
to
something
Managua,
and then
is
if you smoke something that has a lot of nicotine, you don't, unless you have a roll of toilet paper with you on the road, there's no place to stop between.
Cody, by the way, is king. He's known in Central Texas as always having a roll of toilet paper in his truck at all times.
In Esteli, everybody has their, unless they're a dumbass. They have baby wipes but there is no place to stop between really Esteli, a clean bathroom. So I say that to say, I lit up a Neanderthal LH. It was the only thing that I had in the glove box that I had forgotten to take out. It had been there for 2 or 3 days. It was perfectly humidified at ambient humidity, whatever it was.
62.
62.
And I had to pull over in Sebaco, which is about 40 minutes from, and I literally was nauseous. So, but like smoking it now, after barbecue and beer and bourbon and coffee, and it still stands up to all those things.
I've smoked it 3 times, each probably on different circumstances.
But if you wake up in the morning, it's 5:30, 6 in the morning, and you just light up one of these,
Yeah.
you're gonna fuck yourself up.
You're gonna get woozy.
And I don't care if you say it's strong or not. You do that, and you'll know.
But that's why I appreciated it the most out of the OM and the GD, is because it was giving me what I think the Neanderthal name has kind of been leading to. I thought it was kind of the end of the... you might have something else planned for next year. But I thought it was kind of like, you know what? That original, BHN, was a beautiful cigar. A really nice medley of 8 fucking different tobaccos. Who's doing that at the time? The OM, I thought, was just a really cool way of paring down, same, like you said, same blend. but
Fitting
a
all
different
those
format.
tobaccos into a Lancero is on a difficulty, like if it's the triple Lindy, doing
Yeah.
a 10 out of a 10,
Sure.
filling all these tobaccos into
Yeah.
a Lancero.
And that blew us away.
Right.
And then, like I said, the Genetic Deformity, where it was one of the first barber poles, aside from aesthetics, I thought I could actually get some yin and yang when the barber pole was burning down at a certain point. I could feel kind of a difference in strength wavering.
Well, speaking of that, like you just smoked the Craft, right?
Mhm.
It's one of the first ones where, as it transitions on the wrapper from one to the other, because it's a really small ring gauge, you can really taste when it hits.
The Lancero is so much easier to get those
Yeah.
transitions. But we love the OM, we love the GD, but the Lord Humungous, the LH, it just blew me away, and
Awesome.
I couldn't be. To me, we loved the Brulee. We loved.
I mean,
the
for a
Brulee.
sweet tip cigar, it's pretty decent.
He says it's not sweet tip. He says it's not sweet tip, baby.
Because he's one of the biggest bullshitters in the game.
It took a lot. I guess what I'm trying to give you some praise, son of a bitch. It took a lot for us to put some. I mean, because we just drooled. I mean,
Well, 3 cigars is number 1. That's like up there,
Yeah, I mean, how do they rank that on the consensus list?
right? High five. Well done.
yeah.
We gotta get 3 spots.
I get up, go to work, get drunk, go to sleep. I